questions, and you say, well, you know, when did your IBS start? Oh, we were in Egypt on a cruise and we ate this fish and there was something dreadfully wrong with that. That tells you a huge amount, just that one sentence. So now you know to look at the kind of food poisoning type pathogens. And so you've narrowed it down from hundreds down to maybe 5 or 6. And the method that we use to actually measure is by using a thing called bioelectric functions diagnosis. Bit of a mouthful, never come up with something better. And most of you might know it as a Vega machine. Do any of you use them for allergy testing and things like that? Has anyone ever been tested with them? Right. Okay. Very briefly, the principle of the isolating of the pathogens works like this. In our world, everything that's alive has a unique genetic signature. It also has a unique chemical signature. And most importantly for us, it has a unique electromagnetic signature, or a frequency. And a Vega machine measures frequencies. Now, we have lots and lots of tested material that are samples of all the different types of pathogens. So amoebas, bacterias, parasites, viruses, all sorts of things, fungals, all sorts. And what has been done to those is that they've been given a negative electrical charge, because everything that's alive is positively charged. So when you test someone, you get an initial reading with the machine. You use acupuncture points as the kind of the windows into the particular organs that you're testing. When you introduce one of the test samples into the system, into the electrical circuit, if, let's have this hypothetical person who was in Egypt, got food poisoning, and they got chronic diarrhea. So, they've got chronic diarrhea, and there are going to be a number of different pathogens that are going to be the cause of that. It may be a number of them, or it may be just one. So what we do is literally we just test each one. Now, the live version of this pathogen has a positive charge, and we'll call it Salmonella. So here's Mr. Salmonella, and here's my tester, which is the negative version. And when you put them together, they're a perfect match. One's positive, one's negative, and when you add a positive and a negative together, you get 0. And so on your meter, or on the meter that we use, there is a change in the reading. Because in essence, the electrical charge has been reduced by that amount. So that tells you absolutely that that pathogen is the one that's causing the problem. So that's how the system works. It is simply the computer, it says no, or the computer, it says yes. There is no cure for IBS, but that doesn't mean IBS cannot be cured. The reason I wrote that is because I absolutely and categorically do not believe that IBS exists. It is a generic umbrella term that actually when you dissect it means absolutely nothing. It just means you have a digestive problem. It doesn't give you any more information than that. And it covers diarrhea, constipation, fluctuation between the two, wind and bloating, reflux, pain, a mixture of all of those, and none of those, but a feeling of unwellness. But they're all called IBS. Now, as I understand good science, the argument of cause and effect is that usually when you have a symptom that is caused by a single thing, the symptom is consistent. It's always the same. When you get mumps from the mumps virus, your glands flare. No other virus does the same thing. When you get measles, you get spots. You always get spots. You may only get 1 or 2, but you always get spots. Right? IBS, you can have anything. If you take 100 people who suffer from IBS and ask them to list their symptoms, I'd be amazed if you got more than 4 or 5 that were identical. So that tells me that IBS cannot exist. It is simply an umbrella term that doctors use to say, oh, you got IBS, can't be